Today's itinerary will be especially significant to your Christian faith. We're journeying through Jerusalem in the path of Jesus.
We're beginning and ending today with reflection in a garden. This morning, we finally saw the view of Jerusalem from the Mount of Olives. It was super windy, but the city was breathtaking. We then walked in the footsteps of Jesus again down the mountain to a time of prayer and reflection in the Garden of Gethsemane, which is where I am right now. Here at the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus fulfilled the scriptures that foretold this to be a place where the Messiah would appear. Here, Jesus wept over the future of Jerusalem. Here, Jesus prayed for another way than crucifixion, but he chose to obey God the Father and was arrested. Here, after his death and resurrection, Jesus ascended into heaven. I'm overwhelmed by the sacrifice he made, and by the fact that I'm right now sitting under an olive tree in the very place where he chose to pay the ultimate price for my salvation.
Gethsemane translates as the olive press from Aramaic, and was most likely an olive grove. Today, the Church of All Nations stands as a symbol of unity among Christians all over the world, as it was built by donations from 12 countries and is visited by people from a wide variety of denominations and backgrounds. Today's church is built around a portion of bedrock where Jesus is believed to have prayed before his arrest. From here, one can easily see the temple grounds of old, and you can just imagine how coming here to pray would be a purposeful choice. We're on the eastern incline of the Kidron Valley and would be outside the city at the time. From here you could easily escape eastwards and leave, if you wanted. We're now walking the Via Dolorosa in the old city of Jerusalem. This means the way of suffering in Latin. It's the traditional path Jesus is believed to have walked, carrying his cross to be crucified. There are 14 stations on this path. We'll have lunch and some free time in the Christian quarter of the city, so as we continue walking, I'll point out some of the different stations along this path. Now that you've gotten full on falafel and done some bordering for a few souvenirs, let's head toward the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is the end of the Via Dolorosa. There are 2 sites commemorating the crucifixion, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. We'll be visiting both today. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre may not be what you're expecting in atmosphere and architecture, so keep an open mind. The church was originally built by St. Helene and is currently administered by several different denominations. The politics and tensions over time between these denominations mean that the Muslim family holds the keys to the church's front door. Inside this church are the last 5 stations of the way of suffering, and those include Golgotha, place of crucifixion, as well as the empty tomb. After we're done here, we'll head to the Garden Tomb, the other side commemorating the crucifixion, burial, and resurrection of Jesus.
While the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was really educational, it's hard to picture the events in Scripture happening there. Here at the Garden Tomb, it's easier to imagine it, because of the nearby rock that looks like a skull or Golgotha, and because of the tomb that looks like one from the time of Jesus. It's actually located outside in a garden. We're going to take communion while we're here. This evening, we joined an Orthodox Jewish family for Shabbat Dinner. I definitely didn't expect the dinner to be almost 3 hours long. The food was delicious, and the family, who had 4 small children, led us through prayers and taught us why this weekly meal is so important to them. I love that the Jewish people fully prioritize family and faith during this special time each week. I now feel more motivated to prioritize rest and prayer on my own Sabbath.